All right, we are jumping right into a wild one today. It's a story about family, about rejection, and honestly, one of the most satisfying clapbacks you will ever hear. And it all kicks off with a gift getting literally thrown in the trash at a wedding rehearsal. So, get this. Emily walks into her sister's party, just trying to do the right thing. And before she's even 3 steps in the door, her father's voice just cuts through the entire room. He scoffs so loud the music kind of stops. And just like that, every single person is staring at her. It's such a classic move, right? A public call-out designed to make her feel small from the second she arrives.
And this is the moment it goes from just, awkward family drama to something way more explosive. So let's break down what happens next, because it's not just about a present, it's about power.
Her dad doesn't just say this. He actually grabs the gift she brought, beautifully wrapped and everything, and he chucks it into a nearby garbage can. He's growling about how they don't need her pity money, accusing her of only showing up to beg. I mean, this is next-level humiliation. And the worst part? The whole room laughs. Even her sister. But right at that peak moment of humiliation, there's this huge plot twist. The doors swing open, and in walks Logan, Emily's husband. He's just calm, cool, and his presence alone completely flips the vibe in the room. You can just feel the air change. The laughter just stops, dead.
So Emily quietly tells him to get the gift. He fishes this crushed box out of the trash, opens the card, and oh, the look on his face. It just drains of all color. That pity money he was so mad about, it was a massive check. Enough to help them pay off their mortgage. And just like that, nobody's laughing anymore.
Okay, so how on earth did things get this bad? To really get the weight of that moment, we have to go back. We're talking 3 years ago, back when Emily was thrown out of her home with basically nothing.
This timeline really puts it into perspective, right? 3 years ago, she's kicked out just for saying no to a future they had planned for her. Her first night of freedom, she's sleeping in her car. But look at that last part. Just 1 week later, with nothing but a beat-up laptop, she gets her very first order for her jewelry business. That was it. That was the spark.
And this is what she was dealing with. As she's leaving, her own sister, Melanie, hits her with this unbelievably cruel line. It's that whole crabs in a bucket thing, They didn't just think she'd fail, they were practically promising they'd enjoy watching it happen.
So, let's get to the good part. How did Emily go from sleeping in her car to building a legit empire? I mean, this is the definition of a glow-up, and she did it all herself.
She didn't just get by, she absolutely thrived. That tiny online shop just blew up. Within 6 months, boom, it's a real company with an LLC. A year in, she's got a team, and she's shipping her art all across the country. This wasn't some lucky break. It was pure, non-stop hustle.
And that's when she meets Logan. When she tells him her whole backstory, starting a business from the backseat of her sedan, he doesn't see a sob story. He sees her strength. And this is so important, because when you come from a family like that, having someone see you for your potential instead of your past, well, that's everything.
All right, so let's fast forward a few years. Emily is doing great. She's successful, she's in a happy marriage, and then an invitation shows up. It's for her sister Melanie's bridal shower. And it forces her to make a decision she's been putting off for years. And you can just feel the conflict here. Her first thought is, seriously? Why would I go? Just to be ignored all over again? But Logan, he totally reframes it for her. He says it's not about getting revenge. It's about reclaiming her space in that family, on her own terms. It's about showing them what the person they made invisible actually became. So she decides to go. But this time is different. She's not going for them, she's going for herself. And that one decision sets off this whole chain of events that leads to a final, pretty stunning reckoning. So before the wedding, she stops by her parents' house, not to start a fight, but to pick up an old chest from the attic. And while she's looking through it, she finds something tucked away in the lining. Another secret. This time, it's a check from her late grandmother. For 10 years, they hid this check and the letter it came with for a full decade. And it wasn't just money. It was meant to pay for the design school they told her she couldn't go to. They didn't just say no to her dream. They actively hid the key that could have made it happen. So then at the wedding ceremony, in front of all their friends and family, her dad does something nobody saw coming. He takes the microphone and his voice is all shaky as he just confesses. He says he was wrong, that he thought controlling her was the same as loving her. And then he says he's sorry. The whole place is just silent.
But here's the crucial part. Emily doesn't run up and hug him. This isn't about his apology. It's about her closure. She takes the mic from him, turns to the crowd, and delivers this absolute mic drop of a line. She's not letting him off the hook, she's defining her own story right then and there.
So let's get to the final takeaway here, because this all comes together to create such a powerful message about what it means to define your own self-worth.
Because when you really look at it, the real victory wasn't watching her dad's face fall when he saw that check. The real win was her finding peace. It was about her proving her worth to the only person who mattered, herself. It was about building a life where she no longer needed their approval to feel whole.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Her success wasn't about getting back at them. It was an act of self-creation. It was about finally finding out who she could be once she was free from the chains they'd put on her. You know, this story is about so much more than just family drama. It's about breaking cycles and finding your own power. And it leaves us with a really big question to think about for ourselves. What do you need to break away from to build the life you truly deserve?